There are some cars, regardless of which brand, which have a, let's say, a little special importance that they carry. Civic is one such nameplate.
It is just wanting to be driven and wanting to be owned, no matter which corner, which side, which angle you look at it from.
Overall, I think it's a very attractive looking car.
It lives up to everything that you expect from a Honda product.
It's not a typical 3-box, it's got that coupe-like line. So I think styling is really going to be one of the strong points of this car.
It looks futuristic, it looks very sporty, and I especially like the sloping roofline at the back, which really makes it stand out.
It's reminiscent of the Type R, so there is inherently is a very sporty design.
I think I found the rear side a little more exciting than the front. Front, of course, is exciting. Since you asked me which is the most exciting, I'll start with the rear, then the side profile, and then the front.
I like the C-style LED tail lamps. I guess that's something very unique, very different.
Everywhere we went, I mean, people were definitely looking at it.
The interior space is nice, it's very executive. It's the open airy feel, the color palette is very light.
The space is good, and the rear there is enough headroom.
Getting into the back was a nice surprise because, of course, the seat has been lowered. You don't get a sense of that, so it's not like you feel like you're sinking down. It's still very comfortable. And the angle of the back of the seat is what really, really works in the back.
Because the rear has got that nice bolstering for 4 people. It's actually quite comfortable, enough rear knee room.
Surprisingly spacious inside, because when you look at it, and it's the lowest car in its segment, but when you get in, you're sitting low, and it's a nice position that you get when you're driving.
In terms of design, I think I like the instrument cluster the most. I like it more than the touchscreen. I think it's very futuristic.
Feature I would really like in this is the lane watch assist, because I mean, I'm so used to looking at the passenger side mirror. Here, now you don't even have to turn your head. You just click the indicator, it comes on the screen, and you can just see what's there on the side. Turn.
エンジンもペトロールに追加してディーゼルも今回ご用意しましたので、一層走り楽しんでいただけると思います。
I think the IVTEC petrol motor is really living up to that IVTEC name.
The motor on this car takes the game forward. It's a rev-happy engine. It's a typical Honda engine. Very silent when you're standing on the signal. In fact, we switched it on. We pushed the button even when the car was on. It is so refined.
Honda makes one of the best petrol engines. These guys are the masters at the petrol engine.
I think in terms of the refinement, Honda is doing what Honda does best, and you just cannot hear the engine.
It is definitely refined. And of course, with the CVT option, it's even a little better now. It moves well.
CVT was nice. Did justice to the engine, the performance.
It does its job very well. There is no power loss.
It's very smooth. It's great to go up and down the city in, and if you really want that little sporty edge, you can shift into S, and you've got the paddle shifters to get that added zest out of it.
Almost instant downshift and upshift.
Between the two, I like the diesel because it was made to a manual transmission.
The diesel one was something which you would enjoy. It's peppy, it was talky.
I like the diesel manual. I like the light action of the clutch. I like that the gear throws are very short. The gearbox is very crisp.
The diesel inside the cabin, it's deathly quiet. You really can't make out engine noise, and if you have music on, you can't make out anything at all.
I've been driving the older Civic. I remember speed breakers, you had to do the diagonal thing, and so here, knowing that I'm driving a low car, because you're sitting so low on the ground, there were a couple of speed breakers where I wanted to do the diagonal, and then I realized that even when we went straight over it, didn't touch at all with 4 on board and luggage.
It wasn't just the improvement in ground clearance, it's also the way the suspension's been damped and the setup works really well. We went over some pretty nasty potholes and speed breakers, and not once did bottom out or scrape.
So, in the first few minutes of driving, I think you pick up on the fact that the ride quality is really nice. You expect that from a Honda. I think that the fact that that is being delivered is very heartening.
The ride is certainly much improved. Handling wise, I think the steering feels far more sharp, and overall the car itself feels more nimble than the previous generation.
in terms of that fun to drive character, which was a highlight of the earlier Civic, that still continues.
Very good ride and handling balance. The handling is genuinely very good.
Four-wheel disc brakes do a really good job of stopping the car.
Visibility also is excellent because the air pillars have been trimmed down.
I'm very glad that Honda is offering 6 airbags.
Car with 5-star rating is something that will definitely boost sales because people are now safety conscious.
Front design of the car is designed in such a way that it cares for pedestrian safety, even though that is not mandatory in India.
Anything to do with a lot of airbags is good.
Hill start assist is good. Brake hold is something that's really practical.
Civic name to the minds of people brings a lot of energy.
Although the Civic has now evolved more in terms of comfort, but it maintains that sporty feeling still.
The overall package, I would like to say, is probably one of the best coming into the segment.
It's a lot of improvement.
It's a great car for safety, great car for comfort, and great car for luxury.
I think it's outdone itself. I think Honda has really brought the Civic up to speed to this current generation's requirements.
Honda fans are looking for a car that they grew up with, that they enjoyed driving when they were young, and the Civic is a step in that right direction.